Aloha guys, this is Nate Feldman with Feldman's Lawn and Landscape, and a super special episode for you guys today for the YouTube channel. We are here on Maui in Wailea, and we are staying at the Grand Wailea by Hilton, and super exciting, was not planning on doing this, was able to secure a meeting with the head of grounds here at the hotel. His name is Jim Heid, and he's just gonna tell us a little bit about what it takes to maintain this huge property and maybe just give us a few tips and tricks along the way. So super excited for today's video. Thank you for tuning in, and let's go talk to Jim. Hey guys, this is Nate Feldman with Feldman's Lawn and Landscape, and I'm here with Jim Heid today. Jim, thank you so much.
Good morning. Aloha.
Here. Aloha. And Jim is in charge of the grounds here at the Grand Wailea Resort in Maui, owned by Hilton. And I am lucky enough today where I get to sit down with him, ask him a few questions about his job. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Yeah, go for it.
Start asking you. Awesome. And thank you again, Jim. We really appreciate this. One landscaper to another.
There you go.
So how long have you been in charge of the grounds here at the resort?
17 years on the outside and 3 years prior to that for all the interiors. So, 20 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's great. And how large is this resort?
40 acres.
40 acres. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely pan some B-roll of just how beautiful this property is. If you guys haven't come to Hawaii or Maui, and if you do, highly recommend coming and staying at this resort because the views are incredible, the grounds are incredible, everything is maintained just beautifully. And so I'll show some of that in the video, but it's absolutely impressive. And the fact that you can maintain 40 acres of it that's incredible. So kind of piggybacking off that, how many crew members do you have working for you?
17.
17.
Yeah. So, prior to the COVID, epidemic, so to speak, I had 21. So it's been a kind of a rebuilding back after 2019, 2020. So we're 17.
17. And what time of day? Obviously, it's pretty toasty here in Hawaii. Very different from our conditions in the Northeast, Buffalo, New York. What time of day do you guys usually get started, and what time do you usually end?
Yeah, we have a pre-shift every morning from 6 to 6:15, and that kind of sets the course of the day. So to speak, that's our directional purpose, where everybody gets their job descriptions, and I kind of do an oversight for what we can accomplish in a day. So by 6:15, 6:20, the crews getting in their carts, the tree trimmers, the irrigators, groundskeepers, interior scape technicians. So everybody gets in their carts, gets their tools, and then we're what we say pauhana, or finished work for the day at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. That's nice because I think like peak heat here is around like 3 or 4 or something like that, or
anywhere from anywhere from 12 to 4.
Yep.
It's really that. Yeah.
What's the average heat here? Like how hot does it usually get?
Well, you got a humidity factor here, right here in Hawaii. But during our summer months, it'll get up to 90.
Man. Okay.
Yeah, and that's 90 with a little bit of humidity is can wear you out.
Yeah.
So it's different than working in a desert heat or some parts of the mainland where it's a little drier.
Sure. And speaking of heat and the weather, this is my first time coming to Maui, Hawaii. So what do your seasons look like? In Buffalo or the Northeast, obviously we have springtime where we're doing spring cleanups and mulch installations, and the grass is growing like 3 times as fast as it should just because the growing conditions are perfect. We have a summer where it gets a little more dry. Fall, the grass grows a little bit faster, and then that's when all of our leaves drop. So we're doing leaf cleanups all the time. In winter, in Buffalo, we just do snow. What do your four seasons look like, or and what does the maintenance look like if it differs at all?
So there really is no seasons. I mean, in Hawaii, per se, down here along the coast. Okay. If you go what we call upcountry,
yep.
Up the side of Haleakala Crater, as you go up into 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet elevation,
right.
Believe it or not, you do have seasons.
Okay.
Some of the trees will lose their leaves. Cool. And it gets chilly at night, and actually a lot of our residents burn fireplaces and wood and so forth. But down here, basically there's no seasons.
Okay.
It gets our daylight changes about an hour. Right now 6 o'clock in the morning, we're ready to go out in the morning, and work the grounds and so forth because it's light. But as we get into December and the shorter days of the month, that hour difference in our daylight, it's dark at 6 o'clock. So, bottom line is, as far as temperature, it's a little hotter June, July, August, and September, and then after that, it's just beautiful and mellow and perfect for working outside.
Kind of par for the course.
Average rainfall down here is about 12 to 14 inches, something like that. Yeah. And most of that rainfall is usually, evenly distributed, so to speak. So it's not much. The whole south side of Maui is perfect for our guests, tourists, because the weather is
yeah. So I noticed walking around the resort that like at night I'll see like leaves on the ground, right? Because all your trees don't lose their leaves at the same time. It's like just sporadically, right? What kind of trees do you guys kind of have around here? I know you have tons of them, but I noticed that they're all kind of losing their leaves sporadically. And another cool thing is I see like there's leaves on the ground at night, and then you wake up in the morning or you walk outside and they're gone. So this is kind of a piggybacking question. It's like, yeah, what kind of trees are those? But also, like, what kind of equipment do you guys use to like suck them up? And I never hear it either. Like I've been here for 9 days now.
Have you really?
Yeah,
wow, okay.
And it's been incredible.
See, now that's cool. You're in the industry, so you picked up on that. But first off, and that's a comment that comes from our guests quite a bit. Okay. First off, our guys, our whole team is dressed in green. Okay. And maybe some brown pants, but they're predominantly in green. So they really blend in. Yeah. Second thing is we use all battery operated.
That's awesome. Okay.
Now, our lawnmowers are still gasoline, the big ones that we sit down on. But those operate at a very low RPM, so you don't really hear it. Yeah. But all weed eaters, blowers, trimmers, any of that is all battery operated. So you'll be outside and you won't hear them. Yeah. And our guests quite frequently say, when does this happen?
Right.
So we do property cleanup every day. I always send 2 or 3 of the groundskeepers just to rotate every afternoon. Now, because of the heat and the sun, we do all of our trimming and maybe physical activity by 11 o'clock. And then we move our crews around to property cleanup, which allows them to drive around and do light raking and pick up the leaves that you see or don't see. Yeah. Or they'll do weeding in the shady parts of the hotel where the sun, as it moves, there's always shade. So in the afternoon, I'll move those teams around so they work in the shade. So we don't have deciduous trees because we don't have seasons.
Right.
So nothing really drops its leaves like it would in upstate New York.
Right.
So what we do have is mostly palm trees and evergreen tropical trees. And the leaves that they drop are just kind of natural, thinning foliage that drops. And it will be a little bit more excessive if you get strong trade winds.
Yep.
Our trade winds are our saving grace. They are our cooling fan, our natural fan.
Yeah.
So we want our trades. So a nice trade wind of 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 is like perfect. When we get up to 20, 25 miles per hour trade winds, then you'll start blowing leaves around.
Right.
And then we pick them up. Do we use any sort of a vacuum system? No, it's old school, rakes.
Rakes. Nice.
And pick it up by hand.
Alrighty. Well, that sounds good. And you touched on the palm trees. I was wondering this. Do you know how many different species of palm trees you guys have on site?
On site, yeah. I know we have a little over 2,000 palms.
Oh my gosh!
On the property.
That's a lot of trimming.
Yeah, I'm guessing somewhere around 35 to 40 species of palm.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I also noticed that there's no coconuts on the palm trees. Do you guys like remove them, or how does that work?
We do, and if you were watching, well, let's see here. In the last couple, you've been here 9 days. Last couple of weeks, we really haven't been trimming coconut trees. But here's what we do, Nate. We have 536 coconut trees.
Wow, 536.
And we trim them every 4 months.
Wow.
So we have just an absolute outrageous. He's originally from Tonga.
Okay.
So your Tongan people are really, they're just natural tree climbers. Anyway, our tree trimmer trims 536 coconut trees every 4 months. By the time he's finished, he has about a 2 or 3 week break. And I have him trim some of our other trees. And then he gets right back into the belt and harness and up and down the belt. We trim the coconut trees every 4 months because once the coconuts get to about the size of a small plum, something like that. Yeah, then we need to remove them because when they're up there 100 feet tall and they get too big, then they can hurt.
But they can cover.
And you don't want to spend, 9 days here in the hospital.
No.
So anyway, it's a little bit of it's strictly a safety liability issue. Make sure your coconut trees are trimmed properly so nobody gets hurt.
Yes,
we do keep about half a dozen trees with coconuts on them, but they're placed around the property where nobody would get hurt. And every week there's a cultural tour that Wailea does, and our tree trimmer will go up and harvest fresh coconuts on those 6 trees, and then show our guests like you how to open them up, drink fresh coconut juice, split them in half, eat fresh coconut inside. So other than that, all the trees.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And then the big question that I know a lot of the viewers are going to want to know. So we're out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. What kind of equipment do you guys use? Or do you you can choose whatever you like, or do you guys use like steel, echo? Do you use like right now, our battery operated equipment has really primarily been steel. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not trying to plug any particular company. It's just the service over here for steel products is good.
Yep.
And service when you're living in Hawaii, 2,500 miles away from the closest landmass, is important.
Absolutely.
And still is a good product for us. Their battery life works well. So from our battery operated point of view, it's all still. We do have a little bit of gas we left over, and those are all being shipped out.
Okay.
And our mower is a Toro mower, triflex mower.
Did I see that you guys had a skag?
And we have a skag.
I did see that.
We have a skag, yeah.
I almost went outside. Like, would you guys let me whip that thing around?
Yeah. So we use the skag on the open lawns with a low RPM, and it's fine. You know, and I looked at a $40,000 battery operated type of skag, and actually by the time we started it and the input of wind, I got to say it was equally as noisy as a gas skag at low RPM. So I didn't see much advantage to that. I mean, environmentally, sure, the gas. But right now, the best bang for our buck is to keep all the blowers and weed eaters and tree trimmers and stuff like that battery operated. But you're right, we have a skag and we have a Toro tripod.
That's cool. I also noticed all your golf carts are Toro golf cart style. I shouldn't call them golf carts, but the carts
they're like an ATV. Yeah. The Toro Workman. We have two of those, and those things are just like they're unreal.
Yeah.
They can carry up to 3,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean on those small carts, they're built like
little trucks.
They're like little tanks or Hummers or something, and we use those a lot. But primarily our garden ATV, so to speak, are Toro and Junkie.
Really cool. I'll ask you one more question, and then I'll let you get back to your day. If you were a young guy and you were starting to get into our industry, and maybe you wanted to have this job someday, how would you get started, and kind of what would that path look like? I know it's different for everyone, but what would you do?
You mean how did my job as landscape manager director of a hotel and hospitality?
Yeah.
How would you pursue that?
Sure. Yeah.
That's my background. I come from a farming background in California. My dad was involved in citrus farming, so I grew up with that, kind of instinctual knowledge of how to take care of plants. So I went on to get a AA degree in horticulture, a Bachelor of Science in horticulture.
Very cool.
So my background was not only growing up with plants, but also, the technical end, I think is important to get you in a position like this. It's just kind of, I think, good to have. So when you get to this position where you're in charge of 40 acres, basically this is a botanical garden. There's several thousand species of plants on this property. So for all intent purposes, this is a botanical garden. So you need some of the technical aspects that come with plant knowledge when you're dealing with a diverse group of plants. So that helps. And then obviously you gotta have a love of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta feel that inside you that you have a love for it.
Got to be okay with waking up and going outside and baking in the heat for a little bit every day. Yeah,
and I've graduated, so to speak, where I'm not out digging holes and fixing sprinklers and everything, but I have put in my time, and now it's time for me to just teach how to do everything. So actually, I would say in the last, my job really is to share my knowledge. Yeah. And most of my crew, they stay with these positions until they retire.
That's awesome.
So I get a lot of enjoyment out of teaching some of the younger men and women that come on board. were to, by the time they leave here, if they choose to leave here and go over to Feldman Landscape and, you know, lawn maintenance, they will bring with them, you know, some validity that will allow them to get a good position. So I tell them that quite a bit. It's a little bit of a trade school mentality that what I'm going to teach you working for Waldorf Astoria at the Grand Wailea on Maui, if you listen and you put in your time, you should be able to share and go anywhere in the world and probably be okay.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, Jim, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're a
Enjoy
wealth of
your
knowledge.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And we definitely have enjoyed our trip here at the Grand Wailea. Today is our last day. We're flying out tonight. But I'm so thankful that you made the time to share some of your knowledge with us. So thank
Remember us in midwinter.
Will do. I'll wish I were here.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
again. Really appreciate it.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.